Welcome to the Transnet podcast. We're coming to you from the Transnet Pavilion here at the Africa Rail Conference in Sandton, Johannesburg, at the Sandton Convention Center. My name is Milton Nkosi, and I'm pleased to announce that I'm joined by the Innovation Manager of Transnet Engineering, Kgomotso Kgafela. Welcome, Kgomotso. It's good to have you here.
Thank you, Milton.
What does your role entail as Innovation Manager at Transnet Engineering? What do you do, and what's the impact of what you're trying to achieve there?
So I think it goes a step back most of the time. So innovation basically is all about implementing ideas, so from everywhere and everyone. So it's not only within Transnet, a manufacturing hub for transit SOE, but in any industry, for example, so medical industry everywhere. So there is innovation that exists, and innovation impacts the economic growth of any country. So basically, bringing new ideas to the economy, to the businesses, to even transit engineering, at the end of the day, impacts the economic growth of South Africa, for example. So basically, for me, in transit engineering, I ensure that I manage these ideas that are coming through so that we can integrate different systems, we can integrate different mechanisms, whatever processes that are coming for continuous improvement so that we don't stay stagnant within transit engineering. So that's more or less managing of those ideas. And ideas come with intellectual property. So we have to also ensure that we don't end up being in the fight that is there with Vodacom. So we need to ensure that we manage ideas that are coming through. There's transparency, there's recognition systems that are in place, and processes that support the governance of such. So basically, that's more or less what I do. And innovation also goes with strategy, to be honest. So you can't have innovation without having a strategy, because you need to know where you're going so that the ideas that you're implementing or that you want support the strategy of the organization. So basically that's more or less my role in a nutshell.
Oh, that's impressive. Are you innovating enough at Transnet Engineering, do you think?
We are. Look at the Trans-Africa loco that we did. We are OEM in wagons, and with the Trans-Africa that we've manufactured, it's one of the first that we did within the continent. So the different systems that integrate or that make that TAL, the Trans-Africa locomotive, in-house. There were engineers that got involved, waking up every day to ensure that there are systems that we implement to be innovative. So we are, to an extent, very innovative within TE.
And how do you approach innovation in your organization, and how does this connect to the greater strategy of Transnet?
So I think there's been talks as well by various executives within Transit of where Transit is going, and the big back to basic type of thing that is going as well. So if we are saying let's go back to our basics, let's make sure that we one of the pillars of Transit strategy is talking about theft and vandalism. So then how then do ideas impact that? How do we resolve? How do we go out and ensure that we mitigate against this theft and vandalism, for example? So it's more or less around that, and ideas that are coming through. We have processes where employees can submit ideas. We categorize the ideas depending whether they're R&D type of ideas or they're product development or continuous improvement. They can be within any department. It could be HR, improving the process within HR. So it's not only about this new novel thing that is happening, but those smaller incremental improvements. That's more or less what we are looking for, and managing that. It's more or less my role, and that's how it connects to the bigger strategy of transit, so that we can achieve that back to basics, ensuring that we are competitive at the end of the day.
Yeah, you spoke about employees there. That's where I was going to take you. How do you involve employees of Transnet Engineering and the greater Transnet at all levels in innovation processes?
So we have a innovation strategy that is there. I was fortunate enough to drive the creation and development of such. And based on that, we've got the I Innovate processes. So we say, let's innovate within Transnet. So I innovate at Transnet. So employees, all levels of the organization are able to bring ideas in different forms because some have laptops, some don't have laptops. So we are trying to cater for all of them so that they can submit such ideas. And they go to one portfolio or one folder where we can say, these are all the ideas, let's manage these ideas, and we are then able to implement the ones that impact Transnet more. And there's always issues around budget, for example. So we say the ones that are high priority are the ones that we implement first. Yeah.
And we are running out of time. We can certainly talk so much about innovation, as you know, and thank you so much for your insights. Can I ask you, as my final question, how do you prioritize innovation projects? Do you have to juggle which one comes first and which one comes last? How do you prioritize the projects?
So I think it's based on that. There's a criteria that we have to create, and the criteria has to support the mandate of the organization and where we are going at this current stage. So there's a criteria specific for research and development projects, and there's a criteria specific for normal, projects, if I could say, because R&D is slightly different, as you've seen in the presentation yesterday. So we cater for at least the two different types of ideas, and thereafter we are able to prioritize and say, do we have budget? We don't have budget. Do we have got the resources, both people, machinery, and the equipment that we have? So we look at all of that first before we implement, and there's even further prioritization that happens at least closer to the implementation, because when you start you can have 100 ideas, but at the end of the day, let's have those few 5 possibly that can impact and bring revenue so that we can implement the rest of the 95 ideas. So we try to manage that priority in that way, so that we say the ones that impact the organization right now are the ones that we can implement, and they can give the higher returns. Then we can go back and say, let's implement others.
Listen, Kgomotso, Kgafela, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kgomotso. That was so wonderful.